Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Broads. This isn't very complicated. It's actually pretty easy to see what the fuck just happened in the TD Garden. Jayson Tatum delivered. Give you a 50 burger. He took your pants off, he bent you over, and he smacked you around. Disrespected you. And you did nothing about it. How disappointing. Same old Sixers? Okay, I'm on board now. I had optimism. Shame on me. You fooled me too many damn times now for me to start selling anybody any other message. I stand by how I felt in this series and how I felt throughout some of the ups and downs. But here's reality. Joel Embiid elected to wet himself. That's what happened. He peed all over himself. Second round, game 7. Nah, I'm not giving you my effort today. Passing the ball when James Harden is following everybody up the floor behind half court. You know that thing where you're not allowed to have the ball over half court and then go backwards? Are you familiar with that? It's called a backcourt violation. Yeah, you can't do that. Oh, you weren't aware? Okay. We'll fix it for next playoff run. Unbelievable. The game changed when the score was 35-27 Sixers in the second quarter. James Harden, flailing his hands, smacks Jaylen Brown in the face. There's some blood. Free throws were made. Alley-oop dunk made. Turnover Sixers. Easy 2 for the Celtics. And bang, right back in it. And it slipped right through your hands. You had no shot, though, without your two guys being there. PJ Tucker threes, cute. It doesn't really matter, though. It's an addition to when some of your role players have impact plays. They can't bring you to the promised land. Not in a game 7. Marcus Smart and Malcolm Brogdon brought Jayson Tatum to the promised land in game 6. The difference is, though, they have balls. They have toughness, this team, and know how to figure it out. But in game 7s, it's also a whole new world. And when Tobias and DeAnthony Melton do something okay to satisfy you and keep you there, if you don't have step 2, which is Harden actually looking at the basket, wanting to score, dribble penetration, stops, looks for a pass by the three-point line, what are you doing? Taking threes that aren't even close to touching the rim? Every single shot Embiid took, it felt as if he put everything into it, meaning it was way too hard for him to get off his shots. That's what I mean. He had to work so extra just to get a below average shot off. I'm not as aggravated with the head coach as maybe some is out there. I don't know what you want to do when James Harden and Joel Embiid blow as badly as they did. I don't care what you think you're going to draw up. There's nothing. They shrunk again. And Joel Embiid is now a part of that. I don't know what happens in the future. I don't know the decisions by Daryl Morey and how impactful they're going to be. They're going to be insanely impactful, but to what extreme? And I'll get there. But right now, I'm just soaking in the sorrows that felt like a 7-hour basketball game that was never ending. a barrage of threes, if you will. Credit Reggie Miller, who was basically begging for it previously this series when he was on the call. Embiid gave you nothing. And I'm so disappointed. I'm always telling you about age, being ready to win. Embiid's 29. Jayson Tatum's 25. This was the time for Embiid to shut everybody up and the ball out. Even if you went down, I'm not saying this is great, but when Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles went down in the Super Bowl, we hate Jonathan Gannon, but our takeaway was you have a dog, someone special in Jalen Hurts. The kid went out there and had a fantastic day, albeit a turnover that ended up being costly. You watch the tape, you watch the film. Jalen Hurts was ridiculously good. I don't question the most important position on the football field heading into next season. I feel great knowing he's in that locker room. Joel didn't give you 48, 51, and they lost because you couldn't get the addition to, like I referenced before with PJ. Right, those PJ shots and those Tobias shots and DeAnthony Melton spurt there with his first call off the bench. That's awesome. If Embiid can play as well as a 38-point performance, if he scores 51 and you don't get the addition to, we still feel solid. You got a guy who, does that 9 times out of 10. You're winning that game. You're winning that game. Jayson Tatum didn't lose this game. Couldn't step on their throats, Embiid. In a loss that, at least you have substance. Now everything's in question. Now everything's up in the air. 10 points in the third quarter. Their offense was Daniel House, uncontested 3. Daniel House, uncontested 3. That was 2 of those, back-to-back. After a Daniel House drive to the paint, contested. Did I forget that detail? Contested. There was actually a nice start for what it's worth. That's key number 1. Bring the noise. Because the fans will. It's time for you to stop it and bring your noise by showing that you're willing to compete, right? You're willing to go to war, as Tyrese Maxey said. Joe Mazzulla used that reference too. Oh, man. How did it get so ugly so fast? You couldn't stop the bleeding. And Tobias Harris, post-game, uses words we've been hearing for seasons now when the year finishes. Mental toughness. We weren't mentally tough enough. We couldn't find our sets, get in the groove. I believe he used the word pop. They couldn't get anything to pop. Again? We're doing this again. It's the same reason. At that point, change needs to occur. Because whatever that fix is you're looking for, the new pieces aren't changing that dynamic with this team. And yeah, I love Joel, but I am looking at Joel Embiid. Jayson Tatum was not good this series. He was brutal. 0 for 10, 0 for 8, 0 for 9. But they got there. And once you're there, do or die, you have to do something about it. Steph Curry, LeBron James, they have games that you don't forget about and are generational. Life-changing. Everyone dates back in history on what happened in the NBA, and you look at those outings. Jayson Tatum just did that. The reason why I always say that we have a chance is because, hear me out, in theory, I thought you had one of those players. He failed to show me and to support me for making those type of claims. That's how you win at this time of the year. Superstars show their worth. They dominate. Superstars, superstar. Instead, we crumbled. James Harden, in his career in Game 7s, shoots 22% from three. Here's some of his nights. 2 for 12, 1 for 9, 2 for 13. He was so unwilling to play the game. He looked so lost. And I hate knee-jerk reactions, and I hate desperation, because I'm okay at times with wanting to go down with what got you here. When you use Jose Alvarado against Yordan Alvarez in the World Series and you win because of you going to that matchup, and then in Game 6 you elect to go to it again and it bites you in the ass, that's what got you there. I wouldn't have been angry if you kept Zach Wheeler in the game, who was shoving on that night. I bring that up because if Harden is what was your floor general forever and you're in a Game 7 and he's being miserable, staying with him doesn't irritate me fully. I get it. But I'm saying there was a time where I legitimately was throwing that out the window, saying he sucks and he's so pathetic. Like, he's so bad today that if you sat him on the bench and went with Maxey running your offense, I would have been all right with it. Not preferred. That means you're in a horrendous spot, and you were. But going to Robert Williams, I thought, was desperation. And it caused a ton of problems with the offense. You could have benched James Harden and justified it. Think about how bad you have to play to be a 75 best player in the world to ever lace up the shoes here, okay, and go on the court. That you can easily make a case, a strong case, to go to a Tyrese Maxey when the team only had about a quarter and a half to go. I've never seen anything like it. That's what started it, and then the team lost it after that. Because Joel Embiid did work through some double teams in the second quarter, have that head-down mentality, go to the rack, get fouled, earn your charity stripes. But it only lasted such a short amount of time before he had zero answer. And I've been waiting for Joel Embiid to speak, so I want to look at Twitter. Okay, Embiid right now is at the podium. We just didn't make shots. We were pretty cold. And in these type of games, you have to hit shots. They did. We didn't. It's tough. I think it's more than that. He was great, Joel Embiid said of Al Horford in this series. Then said the Celtics did a great job as a team defensively, particularly taking away his two-man stuff with James Harden. Credit to them. Like I said, that's the best team in the league. Joel Embiid, a lot of guys on this team fought the whole year. I appreciate that for them. Joel Embiid says, you could say that. These last two losses diminish what the Sixers accomplished this season. All right. I'm just keeping an eye out. Keeping an eye out for anything that sticks out. For me, so far, it's been Tobias Harris saying mental toughness. That hits me in the face more than anything else. Because it's a trend through a lot of different people at this point. It's Jimmy Butler. It's J.J. Redick. It's Brett Brown. It's Doc Rivers. I'm not calling for anybody's job right now. It's too raw and it's too much for me to handle at this particular time. I'm not ready to make those type of claims. I'm not ready to have that much of a passionate take on where to go here because it's serious. So I'm not going to just throw things out there out of pure emotion and say garbage. I'm okay with venting and ranting and doing that. I'm not saying you're wrong because the Sixers have put you in a position where it's valid. So even when we go to the Anytime Hotline, you know I'm always feeling a certain type of way, and I'll push back, and I'll scream, and I'll fight, and I'll be strong on the way that I feel. I don't know if I'm there right now, truth be told. I'm more in a let me sit back and allow for you to get this off your chest, no matter how irrational it is. But for me, I'm in digestion mode, and let me sit on this before I start making claims on Embiid and this and that and the other. Really, it's just the Embiid talk. Because Doc, he's probably going to go. James Harden probably going to Houston. And after that Game 7 performance, I don't even care. Doc isn't nearly as bad as the fan base thinks, but, I mean, there's other coaches out there. An NBA head coach is an NBA head coach. It is what it is. His resume is very well respected. You had him in here. If you want to do something different, fine. If you want to stay with him, whatever. It really comes down to 21. That's how big this game was. And for some reason, they just couldn't answer the moment. They couldn't meet that. Maybe they put too much pressure on themselves knowing that this could define what the process is and everything the Sixers have been through to this point. And I guess my counter to that would be, well, if that's too much, then you got no shot of winning an NBA Finals. Because you're on that stage, I don't know. I would think that that's more weighing down on you. And there's more there, more national media coverage, more talking than ever before about your name. If you're going to shrink now in a second round, the hell would you ever even look like in a third round? The Maple Leafs thought they got the monkey off their back in Series 1, finally getting over the hump and winning a first-round matchup. And then in Game 2, they go down 3-0, and you would think that they'd play loose. They could play easy. The pressure's no longer on you. Maybe there's an additional layer of pressure that we're not accounting for. Either way, we have a goal in mind. And you not reaching that goal, the red flags start to wave. You had one of the worst losses in Game 7 history. You didn't just lose. The way you went out was terrible. And for this franchise that has all the surrounding combos about finally seeing an Eastern Conference Finals, it's unacceptable to see you fall apart that way and collapse. It's unfathomable. Sat there in shock. It was just a big, big force field of being numb. And I'd be lying if I said that that was gone by now. I'd be lying if I said it was out of my body completely. It's not. It's not even close. This will sting for longer than a day, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. I know this entire week on The Fanatic is going to be outrageous in a good and emotionally damaging way. Ran out of the building. Can't even hold your hat on anything. You walk away with more questions than ever before. Sickening. All right. Like I said, you do what you have to do, and I'm just here to drive the bus. Maybe is the best way to put it.
Yes, bro. It's the 76ers organization asked me to call your awesome show and just be the proxy for this loser basketball team and apologize for the whole organization, from the CEO, the president, the GM, the soon-to-be-fired coach, to the quitter players, all the way down to the janitor sweeping the floor. I stand in the gap, apologize for us lousy, stinking 76ers. What an embarrassment. Embiid getting swatted around, couldn't hold the ball. 7 times I counted. What a disgrace. Again, 76ers, thank you for allowing me to stand up with you and apologize for the lousy, stinking performance.
It was loud, stinky, and even probably worse than those words if we wanted to describe it more. Embiid on his message to Harden with big decisions looming. We got unfinished job. We have an unfinished job. We haven't won anything, and we got a chance to win. Going to 7 games and having a chance to close it out at home, which we didn't do, I still believe we have the chance to win. So he's going with that approach. Where this takes us is still up in the air. It seems like I'm sitting in the same exact spot, though, man. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do, Embiid? I know, unfinished business. I know you're right there. We're so close. We're not too far away. But what is going to take us over the hump? I thought it was a PJ Tucker who was there. I mean, he did his role. What can he do? He can sit there and take threes. What did he do? He took threes. They had to. Because of the way Robert Williams and Shaden, the help defense, it's wide open in those corners. So he's pumped up running down the floor on defense. But then you have to deal with George Niang grabbing Jaylen Brown. That's a loser thing to do. A team that's ready, a team that's prepared, a team that's dialed in, they're not doing that nonsense. They're not playing around with that garbage. You do your job. You make your shots. Nothing looked comfortable for them offensively. Abused nonstop, attacking Embiid on the defensive side. Embiid's a monster. They said, let me wear you down. We're going to go at your throats. You have to stop us. And, to their credit, it was fantastic. In every single way, shape, or form, they controlled you. And you let them. You did nothing about it. I just can't believe it looked that disgusting. I can't believe it. And in Game 6, it was right there. That's the difference. Game 6, at home. And your offense forgets how to operate. You have no chance if your most important players who have the highest ceilings flop. And when they needed you most, every single time, fell right on their face. So when that happens, all those other little things, adding PJ Tucker to get you over the hump, all these details that still matter in the grand scheme of things of molding a championship team, getting Malcolm Brogdon, big addition for the Boston Celtics. There's areas where they tweaked. That doesn't matter if Jayson Tatum scores 12 points tonight. It doesn't matter if Jaylen Brown gets 9. James Harden, 9 points in 41 minutes. Doesn't matter who Malcolm Brogdon is. Close the game out. Make big shots. Contested tough jumpers. Defense is going to be hard against you in the postseason. If you can't score around that and create your separation and get good looks together, generate it yourself, you're screwed. Jayson Tatum did make some tough shots at a consistent rate. It was all night. Why can't Joel do that? Everyone could envision a Kevin Durant jumper as he raises over his defender and nails it. That's what Kevin Durant does. It doesn't matter if there's two guys there. He can make the tough contested jumper. A lot of the possessions in a row. You have to cool me down. Joel, not really thriving in that area in the postseason. Unbelievable, huh?
I am hurt. I'm crushed. I am down bad right now. What a fraudulent group of quitters the 76ers are. Absolutely embarrassing from Harden and Embiid. You got to be better than that. Joel, indecisive when he gets the ball. Getting blocked by Al Horford. Harden throwing the ball away. I mean, it's an embarrassment, man. Just clean house. Blow it up. Fire Doc. Let Harden go. Toby got to go. Build the team around Maxey because, man, That was just a fucking embarrassment. And who would have thought it happened again? Second round loss. You had a 3-2 lead and you blew it. Fuck the Sixers.
I get it. I get it. Now, I thought this season was rough, regular season-wise, and going through the motions. When they start 12-12 and finish out as well as they did and didn't lose a game in the first round and they just handled their business, beat up on the Nets. Don't worry about a Game 5 or a Game 6 like the Boston Celtics. You just accomplished your goal. Sweep them and get your advantage with the rest. All of that, next year, regular season, it's going to be even worse. Maybe 5, 6, 7 times as bad. Regular season basketball will forever, and reasonably so, get eliminated. And that's even coming from me, who thinks that you should take pride in the journey and have fun with the 82 games, and that's a part of your story. And if you don't enjoy it or embrace it, then you're just kind of wasting your time. Do you enjoy basketball? You don't even enjoy basketball. It took me this playoff loss to get where others were. I'll admit it. I'm sort of there right now. I can't imagine having to go through another one of these and pretending like we haven't seen this story written a billion times. I'm now on the broken point. I'm broken with Sixers fandom. And I don't blame anybody else for getting there. This is what it took, though. So you can see. So now you know. If there's other times and other franchises in this city that you are already cracked in a billion places and I'm not there yet, and you go, Broads, in the comment section, right? You're taking jabs at me. Broads, what's it going to take? If you don't see it now, what will it take for you to see it? Something like this. One more than majority. It's going to be a long off-season, man. Long.
I'm disgusted with that. That is absolutely abysmal, that performance by the Sixers. Did they know it was Game 7? Guys, it's not Game 5. It's not Game 6. You got to win this one. And here's what I'll say. The Sixers lost this series in Game 3 and Game 6. Both games they should have won. You were never going to win a Game 7 in Boston with James Harden and Doc Rivers. It just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't. I mean, I can't believe I actually believed that they could win. I actually thought they could fucking win. But what happened? The Sixers happened. The same old shit every motherfucking year. Blow it up.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Did Joel really say this? Me and James, we can't win alone. That's why basketball is played 5-on-5. We need everybody to find ways to be better. Oh my God. Did he really say that? Oof. Oh, hold on. People are ripping the quote, saying that that's unfair and it's not telling the full story. See, this is why you got to do your homework. This is why you have to investigate and you can't just jump on the clickbait. So we'll see. That's something I have to do some more homework on. I don't know. Damn, see, now I'm all in a pickle. All right, we'll put a pin in that, and we'll get back to it. That's for sure. Anyway. Oh, this is going to be a terrible week, terrible offseason. So much change, but maybe for the best. Maybe this needed to happen. When Joel lost to Kawhi, I thought that could inspire him so he could see firsthand what he needs to grow into to win at that level. Yet now Jayson Tatum, he's getting a second look, I guess. Maybe it'll take 2 looks. The Kawhi Leonard thing clearly impacted who he was and how he targeted his off seasons. I thought that really put a new outlook on his NBA career when he lost in Toronto. I didn't know he would need 2 because now Jayson Tatum showed him what it's all about. And he's not afraid I got to give him a lot of credit. Even when Jayson Tatum wasn't making shots, he would flip all you off and go, excuse me, you want me to stop? No way in hell. I'm going to fire. You're going down with me. If I fail, we fail, that's fine. I can have that weight on my shoulders. Then he gives you a fourth quarter of just magnificent ball. He never looked as overwhelmed, though, when he's missing shots. They're just not going in. Some are contested, and, I'm not saying they're all great decisions. Sometimes he's popping it up, and it's not really the greatest possession. But he doesn't collapse fully. He just starts making his shots eventually. He shoots himself out of it. But it's the way it looks when he does it that puts him in a totally different category than James Harden and Joel. Because they wear it differently. They don't look confident anymore. When Al Horford blocks his shot and rejects it, or at least makes it a horrendous shot that super short barely grazes the front of the rim, your body language says it all. You're defeated. Tatum's never defeated. He doesn't allow himself to get there. That's where you need to close the gap. Joel needed to see it again firsthand. So made it 2 times. 2 times. The basketball gods made that happen. Maybe it soaks into Embiid's brain now, but I don't even know if he'll be here for us to experience it. I'm going to wrap things up here. We'll be hot over the next few days analyzing this. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Catch you on the next one.